Going to his wake, I actually had one of my best friends look at me and just say, you know, I'm pretty much just planning your funeral at this point, dude. Like, you got to get a grip, or like, I'll see you later. And that was like a very hard reality check for somebody, another kid I grew up with, you know, one of the two people I still talk to nowadays, to look me in my face and say, like, you're going to die, and that's just that.
It's estimated that around 20 million Americans suffer from substance abuse. Vinny is one of those who overcame addiction. In Suffolk County last year, there were 303 opioid deaths, and 171 of those were caused by the powerful synthetic opioid fentanyl.
If you take the opioids and take the same amount, okay, if I took one dose of morphine and then one dose of heroin and one dose of fentanyl, that dose of heroin is 2 times as strong as the dose of morphine. The dose of fentanyl is 100 times as strong as the dose of morphine.
Most of the time, drug users don't know they're taking fentanyl. It's a cheaper drug, so dealers mix it in with heroin to make it look like there's more product, and they make more money.
Coming from the one side of somebody who was selling this stuff at one point, people aren't concerned with the fact that they're hurting somebody's daughter or somebody's son or father, you know, mother, whatever the case is. They're concerned about the money going in their pocket because they have their own habits to be worried about.
There's been a trend, there's been an evolution going from painkillers and prescription opioids, okay, which people have been using for a while, but then those have gotten much more expensive. So then heroin started to become back in vogue again because it was cheaper and more easily obtainable and more pure, okay? And then fentanyl, okay, for some of the same reasons. Cheaper, more pure, can make more of a profit.
Since fentanyl is so much more potent than heroin, it takes much less of the drug to overdose.
Addiction is that dangerous of a thing to where it will flip your switch and you won't even realize what you're doing as you're doing it.
The most common thing seen in any opioid overdose is called pulmonary edema, which is fluid in the lungs, which makes it difficult to breathe.
This goes on somebody's face, and then we can squeeze air, and we'll connect this to oxygen as well. So we'll be actually ventilating somebody, we'll be breathing for them, while my partner would possibly set up an IV. We start an IV line, and then we inject with saline. We inject the Narcan with saline to follow, just to kind of flush out the line. And then that medication should reverse the opioid, and then that person will start to breathe on their own.
Even being in the presence of the drug can be deadly, so first responders have to take extra precautions, wearing face masks to avoid inhaling the air around it.
When dealers are making up their drugs for distribution, they're not measuring out, you know, X amount of grams of fentanyl, X amount of carfentanil, X amount of grams of heroin. They're pretty much just like mixing everything together, throwing it in a bag and putting it on the street.
The combination is so dangerous, and people are so adamant about keeping people into their drugs that they will do whatever it takes, such as add fentanyl to the heroin, to keep somebody around.
According to the Center for Disease Control, the death rate involving synthetic opioids increased 72.2% from 2014 to 2015 and is expected to continue to rise. For Stony Brook News, I'm Alicia Bermudez.